Hello, guys, and welcome to 21metrics podcast. I'm Timo here, and today I have a guest, Artur Schaback, the co-founder of Unigox and Paxful. Welcome, Artur.
Hey, glad to be here. Happy to spend next hour with you or
Awesome
less.
to have you here, Artur. But first, don't forget to check our sponsor, Sausage.ai. I'll add the link to our show notes. Artur, let's go to Unigox, or we could actually cover you first. So who you are, and I know some of your story. You were in New York, and you founded Paxful, and then Unigox, and I think many other companies. But I guess you can cover the story and tell us, our viewers, who you are and how did you end up here.
So I was born originally in Soviet Union. Now it's Estonia. Basically, I can say I was born in Estonia, and I was fascinated by computers since young age. But I didn't study this my first year in college. But then I started studying that because I wanted to build something. And before I got into crypto, and back then when I got into crypto, it was mostly Bitcoin 2013. So I've been in crypto and Bitcoin 12 years, and I've seen 4 or 5 cycles already. And I take them quite like whatever, it's the right now we are kind of in a bull, so there should be a correction at some point, which is fine. But going back, before I got into Bitcoin in 2012, or 2013, I already built something in finance. That there was already some experience that I had in finance. I built some bank integrations back then when you had a accounting software and you wanted to pull automatically all your bank statements. You were not able to do back then, so the banks had closed APIs, or some banks didn't have it. Right now you already have some software like Plaid or Plaid in US, Adian in Europe, that already has this everything, right? But back then in 2012 and 11, when I was building that, it was really hard to basically get this, because accounting softwares, I was talking to them, they had this problem to automatically pull the data. I was going to the banks, to the meetings, explaining what I want. They had the software like Sonic MQ, and they were like meeting after meeting with them, explain to one team to another what I want, why I want this. And these are banks; they don't take decisions there. It never kind of materialized. I just did successful with one bank, but uh, it didn't really cover the needs of accounting software. And then I was not, after that, I understood that I can't build something where I am dependent on somebody. I need to wait for somebody. And crypto is, for that, is kind of the best, that you don't need to ask for permission from somebody if you want to build something. That's it. So basically, in 2013, you could start building on top of Bitcoin. And every 5 years, there is a new tech, a new platform that on top you can build, and you basically opening up a brand new market. And yeah, for this platform. So before Bitcoin 2008, 9, this was the time of apps, right? When you could the Google Play Store and App Store launched, and you had this opportunity to build a new app. So now, 5 years later, now you have this opportunity to build on top of Bitcoin. Then another 5 years later, you have this opportunity to build on top of smart contracts, the Ethereum ICO, and all these other blockchains. Then another 5 years later, you have this opportunity to build on top of AI right now. And in between, you had this opportunity to build the layer 2 blockchain, right? The fast blockchain. So there are all this other kind of sub opportunities you have. But also besides that, in 2013, I built my first apps as well. When I got my experience how to work on distribution and marketing, I built some bikini-friendly apps on Android. I made my first kind of money from product, like ads revenue. So this kind of gave me the experience. The banking sector gave me experience how to build a secure software, and then the apps gave me the experience how to roll them out. So
Mm.
And I always wanted to go to US back then. I was fascinated by the culture. I've been there. I traveled there, so I made my made my move to New York because I had friends there. And already back then, I had ideas. I was trading Bitcoin. There was Cryptsy, BTCE, Bitcoin DE. That's where I was trading Bitcoin, and I wanted to build something on top of Bitcoin while I was already building websites for others. So I was kind of software consultant. I was building like e-commerce websites and WordPress websites for others. But I always wanted to build some product, some business, a product business, because with the consulting business, you can really scale. You can grow 20%, 50% a year, but that's
Yes.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
I've actually done consulting. I know it's hard to scale. Like you're right.
yeah.
So like software is better for scaling. And as you said, like you're in New York, and it's a very like high energy environment if you compare Europe. So I think like both areas have their own upsides and downsides. Europe is maybe more like security aligned. People like maybe free time and security, and in US it's more like about your career and also about the competition and high energy. But if you want to launch an app, I think California is the place to go, and it's really like that.
Yeah, this is more or less true, but I would just say it's about the big city. If you live in a big city, that can be London, Berlin, or whatever else, your expenses are higher. You see the lifestyle you can have there, how people are having the lifestyle comparing to living in a small city where you don't need much. And same
Yeah.
was with New York. I basically had to pay my rent like 1,500 for a room every month, and then I paid the rent, and now I know like, hey, I need to earn again this 1,500 in 30 days. I need to pay it. So
Yeah.
this forced me the urgency. Basically, the
Yes.
big city forces you the urgency, and like you can have the plan B. This
Yeah.
kind of thing puts the big city like your state of mind, which is
Yes. Correct.
needed always.
Yeah, there's like lots of talk about like tech people, tech pros and founders moving to like remote locations, but still I think like the things happen in big cities because they're they're like media is talking about this, that like tech founders could work remotely and move to more remote areas. But I think you still kind of want to be part of the culture, and if you're in crypto, you want to be in meetups, and you want to meet devs, and then like what's going on. So if you're just like remote, it's very different. Or what do you think about this?
Yeah, I agree. Again, it depends like what you want, what your ambitions are, and what kind of stage your business startup is. You can be remote when you can in a kind of building phase. You can build remotely, right? Or
Yes.
if you're in a kind of you have a product market fit, again, you can build remotely. But if you're trying to have some urgency and everything, yeah, you need to be in a bigger city.
Yeah.
Of course, there are things like, oh, in a bigger city you have all this opportunities that you can spend your free time in. But again, this comes to the discipline. But in
Yeah.
a remote thing, it's also a discipline, right? But again, you're probably there less productive because I was in Bali. There's all this heat and everything. Of course, you can
Yeah.
sit inside with AC, but it's not the same. So it maybe some people would argue with me like, hey, you can still be productive in remote areas. It's even better for them. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's personal, subjective for everyone. But
Yeah.
again, if you want to be in the environment, you better be in an environment where like-minded people are with you and
Yeah,
building.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think with the service like Unigox, if you're in big city London or Berlin or New York, you can test the apps in practice. You can go to like a big meetup or big event easily, and you can then just ask people like, hey, can you try my app, and can you can test it in practice. But if you're remote, it's harder, and it's part of vibe. You want to feel the vibe of
Yeah.
people and stuff like that. But
That's what
hey,
I do
let's
with the Uber drivers. That's what I test with Uber drivers, right? We have basically remittance. You use crypto for remittance,
yeah,
like to some African countries, and I tell the Uber drivers, and I get really, really good feedback.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can test in practice. But hey, let's move to Unigox. So you want to cover it a bit. Your it is kind of like a new service, or it has been online for a while, I think. But you kind of want to cover it, I
Yeah,
think. So
I can tell basically. I think I need to cover a little bit the Paxful part. as a product, right? As a business. So Paxful, when we founded, and it used to be, and it still is, a place where people can buy or sell crypto instantly from other people. So it's a P2P marketplace. We provide, I mean, Paxful provides escrow and listing service that, like Airbnb, where you can say like, hey, I'm selling $1,000, like 1,000 USDT for this and this price, for
Yeah.
local currency, for euros into Revolut or into your bank account. And then some other people can start a trade with you, like, yeah, I want to buy, I have money in my bank account, I will send you euros. And then Paxful as a platform basically asks one party to send a screenshot that you did a payment to me, like you send me the euro payment, so you make a screenshot from your bank account that yes, you did the payment. I see that I received the payment, I click release crypto from escrow, so now you get your USDT. That's in an essence, right? That's what local Bitcoins used to be. We basically copied them,
Yeah.
but we just made it more kind of less clicks, and the design, we added design. Local Bitcoins did not have design. It was
Yes.
bootstrap only.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it worked, right? It solved the problem, and that's why at some point of time they used to be the biggest. They got the product market fit because people wanted the problem to be solved, not just design.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually know some of the local Bitcoin's former employees, and you're right. Like the site looked like a Windows 95 style, like front end. But
It's a
I guess,
bootstrap library, yeah, bootstrap design library. I know exactly, yeah.
yeah, okay. But I guess they were like very early. They were the first, and their timing was perfect. I think like they were like
I met
there.
them too. They said, yeah, they actually there before them was somebody BitInstant, but I think they were the first one that added online escrow because they were first in person. They didn't get much trades, but then they said when they added online escrow, online trading, it's kind of skyrocketed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like back then, I think maybe we had like Mount Gox or something, but there weren't like many platforms. Like local Bitcoins was one of the few ones back then, and because
Mt. Gox was basically a centralized broker, right? You're sending money to Mt. Gox's account, like bank account, and then they add you the numbers in the system. Like now you have dollars, and now you can buy Bitcoin and send out. So this kind of centralized brokers. But local Bitcoins was P2P between people, and that's when we actually Paxful was not our first idea in New York with my co-founder back then. We had the retail payment processing for merchants. And
yeah,
we built it. We built the POS system, the point of sale system, but we figured out the problem was in real life, people didn't have crypto, didn't have Bitcoin. So
yeah,
the merchants had this app, but people didn't have Bitcoin to pay them. So like, okay, let's get Bitcoin in the hands of people. And
yeah,
we looked at the options, right? How you can get Bitcoin. There was Coinbase, centralized broker, I think Bitfinex, and then the local Bitcoins. And we said, which model were we going to do? So we went with the local Bitcoins P2P model. That's it.
yeah. Yeah. I remember like back then, like I was like in 14, I was actually like interested in Bitcoin, but then it was like very difficult to buy it, and it took like until 16, and I was actually like able to buy it using a centralized exchange. And what happened, how I got my first Bitcoin was in 16. That we had this like friend group, and one guy had a lot of Bitcoins, and he wanted to buy flights, so like flight tickets, and I used my credit card to buy these tickets for him. It was like one Bitcoin, and then he said he sent one Bitcoin uh, to me to the exchange, and that's quite a lot. It's like 400 euros back then. It's a lot more today. So
Yeah,
so
yeah. I
but
remember I used before local Bitcoins. There was Bitcoin DE, was also it was in P2P style too. This was showing the bank account of another person, but it wasn't so kind of real time like
yeah,
local Bitcoins. Yeah.
yeah. So that's my like first
Yes.
point of contact with Bitcoin. It's pretty funny, but it is kind of like difficult to. I also tried to buy Ethereum when it was launched in like 16, and it's very difficult. Maybe on a centralized exchange, but you kind of needed to have this like technical know-how to do it at least a bit, and it wasn't like that easy. Now it's just like
For
download that.
Ethereum was easier. For Ethereum, I think I bought it on Kraken. I missed the ICO because I there was this mycelium ICO that completely failed, and I thought, another ICO is going to fail again. But on Kraken, right? Once you have already Bitcoin, you buy Ethereum with Bitcoin inside the exchange.
Yeah. But let's move on with Unigox, and you have this global coverage basically. So you're from Africa to Latin America to Asia, and you want to be this obviously this global service provider. You want to cover this bit, or it's kind of like obvious that you want to be.
Yeah, so I can tell a little bit. Maybe the previous slide. This slide about the global coverage, but the previous slide, the ZKTLS. Yeah. So look, difference between Paxful and Unigox is non-custodial. So first of all, when you sign up, you get a non-custodial wallet that we cannot take your funds because Paxful is centralized. Then the second is we have a bunch of cool features like sending stable coins for free. We pay the gas fees for you. That's what Ethereum allows with like smart wallets. So that's the cool thing you get with the wallet. Then you can bridge from any other chains, Solana, including EVM chains, stable coins. Right now we support USDT and USDC, but later on we're going to support more assets. And then you can buy or sell in P2P the stable coins. And again, the escrow is also our P2P escrow between the buyer and the seller is also on chain. So everything is again. The point is again, everything is transparent, and you see the money movements on chain. And then let's say you want to buy USDT, you have money in your bank account. Another really, really important thing is that we're doing is the ZK-TLS, zero knowledge TLS. Let's say you want to buy with Revolut from me USDT. I don't even have to be present there. How it works is there's no chat between me and you. You say like, I want to buy 100 euros worth of USDT. It gets matched to me. You are shown my Revolut username. Inside Revolut, you send money to me. And now the important part is you don't upload the screenshot to me. Instead, you're simply inside our app, going to Revolut browser. In the browser, you're going to the Revolut website. You log in to your Revolut in the browser, not in the app. And then this information that your Revolut name, full name, username, and that the latest transaction that you sent to me, we as Unigox see that automatically. There's more details inside that we don't say everything else. It's a privacy focused everything, but we see this information, your name and the latest transaction. And this verifies that you actually sent fiat to me. And Unigox now gets 100% provable transaction that you sent to me. So you cannot fake a screenshot, right? There's no need to upload the screenshot. And now because we as a platform see that, we have the third key. So the escrow is a multi-sig 2 out of 3. We see that you sent euro, we sign it as a platform, and you get crypto. So I didn't even have to be online to click like on other P2Ps, like, yes, I received the payment, I received euro. And that's the whole magic of the ZK-TLS, and this is what the slide explains, right? When Ligma wants to buy from Johnson USDC. So and that's pretty much it. Now you can send out USDT wherever you want, but our next goal is that we don't want you to send out USDT anywhere out. We want you to use it within Unigox. That was another problem. Probably the biggest mistake of Paxful time is that we didn't add new products or features fast enough that you could keep your USDT on Paxful and do something with that. Because people, when the Binance came right before, like people came to us and then they sent money to different merchants to pay for stuff or kept Bitcoin with us. But Binance came out, people started doing the shitcoin casino, right? Gambling, buying tokens, everything. So we got a lot of Bitcoin buyers, but they all sent out to Binance. So, and here we don't want to repeat that mistake. So we already have the first utility product. You can go trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other stuff. Not the Bitcoin, and you cannot send out Bitcoin. It's just the exposure. So it's the perpetuals you can trade. We integrated Hyperliquid. Next is because we are Web3, we are non-custodial. We can really easy integrate any other DeFi app. we don't have to build from scratch a new DEX or new exchange, so we don't have to do market making. We don't have to deal with the liquidity ourselves. We can just integrate it into the new one. Into existing one. We can just integrate our wallet, like into Hyperliquid, into Aave, into whatever else, and use their liquidity, use their tech, because smart contracts, it's open by default, so we can just tap into them, because that's the DeFi Lego blocks, basically, in essence, what we are utilizing.
Yeah. Yes. And right now you're supporting USDT, USDC, and change from Ethereum to Solana, but you're expanding to ETH,
Yes.
Solana. So you're expanding the.
And I would say here why we're expanding is basically, again, this comes to the utility side. And this is what we're listening to our communities, what they want next, right? We're asking them like, hey, what would be the reason you can come to us to sell or buy crypto and you stay with us? Right now, there's not many reasons, right? That's the retention part. They will do it once they send out. So we're asking them what they want. And there's like 3 avenues. First one is they want to invest. They want to invest in volatile assets, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Bitcoin, and keep it with us. So, and that's why we need to add the support of this other assets, volatile assets. And then around this, like staking this assets, right? And borrowing against these assets. Second avenue is we can work on the kind of a day-to-day wallet for stable coins. That means we need to add Tron USDT support on Tron, because 50% USDT is happening on Tron, I think, with 50% of USDT volume. And then there's on-chain yield for your stable coins and all that stuff, right? The third option, the direction we can go is the fun part, right? The degen part, where you can buy, sell the tokens quickly. You can win money, you can lose money, you can do betting, you can do predictions, this kind of stuff. So, of course, we're going to be doing all these things. The question is what we're going to have as a priority, because this many ideas, this much resources, like it's always, like it's been always, but with AI, fortunately, we can build like 5 times faster. That's the 2 to 5 times faster you can build with AI, thankfully, compared to like 10 years ago when we started Paxful.
Yeah, that's right. Like we have so many ideas, but then the implementation is critical always. So having worked for a centralized exchange, I also know that retention is challenging, and it's not that easy. So sounds good. Do you want to cover this still, or we have
sure? Yeah, so look, I explained what Unigox is for the B2C, for the retail person. He gets a wallet, a non-custodial wallet. He can send stable coins for free of charge because we pay the gas fees for them. We have it all in our docs, how it works. But we also have the B2B solution is any DeFi app, any crypto project can add our widget as an on-ramp. So on-ramp or off-ramp into crypto and to sell crypto. And why us? Because we don't support the credit cards on ramping, which is super saturated. You can do like MoonPay and whatever the current big players are. We cover these other regions with a P2P rails on a back end. There was one of the previous slides, right? We cover Africa, LATAM, Southeast Asia. Europe, we really don't cover because you can buy with euros crypto pretty easily with the centralized services, or you have a debit card too. But we have this one cool thing is we have a 0% fee to buy USDC. We have a partnership with Coinbase, and that's going to be later announced. We do some co-marketing with them. But you can buy with your debit card, and with your debit card, you can buy USDC at 0%. Because if you're looking at other places to buy with debit card, I think they charge you 2-3%. But Coinbase is kind of subsidizing this, which is good. So we can build on top of kind of remittance service. If people can, right now they have to do the separate steps. Like, hey, you want to send money back home and do it 4% cheaper than TransferWise. You have to buy with your debit card USDC. Then you sell that USDC on our P2P on our widget for Kenyan shillings, Nigerian naira, South African rand, and it's 4% cheaper than if you would do that with Wise. But again, the question is that convenience. People prefer Wise because they trust it, the brand, it's less clicks, right? So we still have work to do. But some people do that already. Yeah.
Sounds interesting. Yeah. Very good coverage. But hey, let's talk about markets a bit. I'm sure you're following crypto markets as you're in the business as a platform. So Bitcoin is right now at 104K. We saw some selling pressure, but I think like next quarter will be more positive. The last quarter of the year, and do you think there could be this kind of like flipping? Now Ethereum is very popular within institutions, and we have Tom Lee's company buying a lot of Ethereum and stuff like that. Do you think there could be some kind of like flipping happening, or how do you see it, or like if you compare or benchmark like Bitcoin and Ethereum, do you see Bitcoin as a digital gold and then Ethereum as kind of like this DeFi platform? Do they like feel entirely different roles, or how do you see it? You have been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah, so short answer, no. There's going to be no flipping for various reasons. Well, I'm maybe a little bit biased, but I'm kind of rational in this one. I used to be Bitcoin maxi. Now I'm 70% Bitcoin maxi, 29 Ethereum. So the thing is, okay, Ethereum is being bought now by this DAS, the treasury companies, but Bitcoin is bought as well. So, and then if you compare the last 4 years, the ratio of the Bitcoin Ethereum price went much better. So we had Ethereum 3-4 years ago, also 4,500, but Bitcoin was 68,000 in dollar value. So Bitcoin grew still compared to Ethereum, and I don't see the medium short term time frame Ethereum beating Bitcoin. I know there's some. I'm reading this Ethereum maxis that they say like, hey, look, Ethereum price is spiking X months later after Bitcoin price spikes. So soon, really soon, the Ethereum is going to be spiking. But Bitcoin is being bought too by treasury companies. But the second question you asked about is the Bitcoin as digital gold. Yes, but it's not being used as a day-to-day transfer mechanism, right? Right now it's stable coins. And long term for this, it's bad. It's being kind of crippled intentionally, or whatever kind of reasonings you have why it's not being done, or this Lightning Tech hasn't kind of taken off compared to like Ethereum. This layer 2s have taken off, right, pretty quickly, but not Bitcoin Lightning.
Picture too. That's very well said. And like as you said, that like if you look at Bitcoin's network activity, like active addresses, they are not like moving up. Actually, they have been in decline. And one reason for that is that institutions, and also I think like smart money and that retail, they're buying these like treasury companies and ETFs. So they are not buying like on-chain Bitcoin. And like when was the last time you really tried to move Bitcoin on-chain? Because I did, like it was a couple of months ago, I moved from this physical Bitcoin to an exchange, and actually I waited for like 2 hours it to move. And when you like, if you move, let's say you move like 1 Bitcoin, you have this coin and you move it to Coinbase. And it's like you're waiting for 1 hour, and then you start to think that, what happened? Did I lose it or not? Of course, you can then see that it's confirming and stuff like that. But like 2 hours, like nowadays, it's a long time to wait. Of course, you can use like Lightning, but I think that adoption has not moved. And as you said, like, that's a very good comment, that long term it's bad if people really don't use the on-chain Bitcoin, as you mentioned.
Yeah, listen, I'm checking when I have used, but well, one thing I have with this as a utility is I use this as a collateral. I've wrapped it on Ethereum into wrapped BTC, and now I use this as a collateral to borrow stable coins. I'm doing yield farming. I'm borrowing stable coins with 6%, and I'm making 15% yield, right? But Bitcoin, I have bought it, but I'm just checking my activity. I have sent somebody some payments where the stable coins were not accepted. But of course, I hold the use case for me is different. I hold Bitcoin. I don't want to sell it. I will borrow against it,
Yeah.
stable coins, and pay them because Bitcoin is going up in value. Why should I sell something that goes up in value? So, and yeah, I don't use this as a means of payment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just checking my history, and it's basically
Yeah.
buying that and then wrapping this into wrapped Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum.
Yeah, but nowadays, if you really use that on chain, it's like 2 hours is a long time to wait and
That's
think
another
about.
problem. Yeah, that's the problem with that's the blockchain speed, and the problem with exchanges. They're waiting 3 to 6 confirmations.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
like if you move like one Bitcoin, you kind of like start to get nervous. That what happened? That did it disappear? And then like, oh my god, now it's showing that it's being
Exactly.
confirmed. I'm safe. But it's these are the problems. And but I think like many coins and many ecosystems have their own place. So I don't like I'm not here to diss anything. I think like Bitcoin has its place as digital gold, and then Ethereum and Solana are more like DeFi aligned. I think it's a competition, of course, too. That these are competing platforms. I think they're like we can just let all the flowers bloom, and like the market decides. So the market votes
Yeah.
what to buy, and eventually it will decide which one will win. I think we it's like not very useful to have these like political discussions. We just should like wait that the market votes by
The
buying
way
basically. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the way I saw this, or my ideal kind of scenario, is that look, Bitcoin is still the most decentralized, the most fairest way distributed. Let's assume, right? And now there is Ethereum, there is Solana, there's all this financial apps built on top of them. Basically, Nasdaq, next exchanges are being built on top of this fast blockchains, or this Ethereum blockchain. But the way I thought this, which right now I'm a little bit more skeptical because Bitcoin is not moving as fast, basically that there would be a layer 2 and layer 3 on top of
yeah,
Bitcoin. That layer 2 is Lightning Network, layer 3 is maybe some kind of like a DEX or some basically this financial apps on Bitcoin, because it's still, I would rather use them if there's a good ecosystem, there are good dev tools, or I know good user friendly apps, wallets, because it's the most honestly distributed, right? And that's what I'm still hopeful that Bitcoin will be this the blockchain, the base layer blockchain, and on top of that there will be layer 2, layer 3 with all the apps. So basically the whole world, the whole financial world will be running on Bitcoin as a base layer, and then layer 2, layer 3 on top. But again, this is kind of my maxi thinking, because the Ethereum guys think the same way about Ethereum, right? Maybe Solana guys think the same way. I'm probably going to have like a mix of them. So that's
yes.
the kind of,
I see you have this very like objective view. I like it, and I try to reach that too. That you're not like in anything maxi. You kind of like want to see what is real, what is true, and it's good to be objective, and that's how you find the best assets to buy in the end. Like what do you
yeah.
actually believe in, and like, and there's so much hype and a lot of things going on. So it's good to stay objective. But that's about markets. We have now talked for 33 minutes. I think we can wrap this up. We covered your history, then Paxful and Unigox a bit. We can continue some other time if you like. But thanks for this, Artur. Always awesome to have you as a guest.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and anytime.
Yes, thank you. And to viewers, see you next time.
See you.
See ya. Bye.